Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Hardy channel. Well, now we're getting messed up because officials expect the cootie physical distancing measures to last for a month, and that's just in the state of California. Who knows what other states are predicting the same thing? This is their way of saying we're never getting off lockdown, we're never getting out of this, and we're never going to figure out how to pay for all this. Because printing money that falls out of the sky, like say $2.2 trillion, is not the solution. We're giving money to illegal aliens who aren't eligible for the federal, and we're going to do it out of the state fund. I suppose, not like they said where the money was going to come from, is going to solve everything. They have no intention of ever letting us go. And think about what they can do with the powers. Look what they've done already. They've already said in Los Angeles that they've ordered essential workers to wear masks. Okay, they're on the job. You could do safety stuff like that. And allow businesses to deny the service to customers without face coverings. How many liberties have we already lost with this lockdown? They are getting more and more and more rules every single day. And you can't convince many people that they're not getting off on that. That they're like, oh, well, wait, if we can do this, then we can do that. And if we can do that, then we can do this. And then it just extrapolates farther and farther out to where you're now telling people, if they don't have masks, don't feed them. Wow. So we've gone way beyond the level of suggestion to let them starve to death. And now they're saying it's not going to end. Well, how do most Americans feel about this? Well, let's take a look. Americans are far more worried about loss of income than health during the pandemic, a poll finds. If you look down here, it says 30% fear loss of income, pretty reasonable since most people have lost their jobs. Finding supplies, 27%. We are 3 weeks into this, and I'm still getting reports that people can't find toilet paper at the stores unless you're at the front of the line. After a month? Seriously. The forest that we're deforesting to do this is just unfathomable. Boredom and isolation. Do you fear boredom and isolation? That's a weird thing to fear, but okay. Loss of health, 4%. Barely even on there. Because most people are aware that unless you win the unlucky lottery, 90-some% of the people that get this are just fine. It's probably higher than that, but we don't know yet. You have to win the unlucky lottery, which was true of cancer, which was true of all the other sicknesses that have not gone away, but are also suffering to get treated due to the cootie crisis. Finding childcare, 3%. Wow, that means 97% aren't worried. Well, it's because most of them are home, I guess. None of the above. Yeah, because you notice they didn't list liberty. That might be that 13%. So here are Americans saying, yeah, I need money way more than I'm worried about the cootie. And there are other Americans saying, hey, I need my liberty because you're taking it away faster and faster and faster. And now you're telling us you're never going to relinquish the power? Oh, good grief. With lack of direction from federal government, the U.S. grocery stores and warehouses had to create their own safety rules. The idea that that's a news story, that Americans acted like adults and acted responsibly without mommy or daddy government telling them is newsworthy is horrifying. The people that write a headline like that are the same people that are cheering on this. Yeah, keep telling us we can never go back. We're afraid of the cootie. Come on, baby, don't fear the cootie. No, do fear the cootie. With lack of direction from the federal government, U.S. grocery stores and warehouses created their own. Imagine that. Adults acting like adults. Responsible people taking responsibility. This is what the damage of liberalism has done to America. That it turns such an obvious reality into a news story. Of course they did. This may come as a surprise to many news people and many liberals, but most employers don't want their employees to drop dead. It turns out if your employee is dead, They don't show up and get the job done. They're not very worthy at that point. Employers want healthy, strong employees so they can do a good job. And let's face it, at the mom and pop shops, and maybe even some of the bigger ones, most people enjoy a lot of the people they work around. So they consider them friends, if not strong acquaintances. They don't want them sick. Of course they came up with safety rules. Now, what about the giant corporations like Amazon, where they got the workers going out on strike and things like that? The further you get away from your employees, the further you get away from your soldiers, the easier it is to not take their lives into consideration. It's not good, but it's true. If you think back to World War I, and since we've spent so much time talking about WW1 and the Spanish flu that came after it, you will know that was one of the first wars, if not the first war, where the generals were no longer on the front line. Because you go back to the Napoleonic Wars right before that, Napoleon was on the front line. You get to World War I, and they were far, far, far away from it. And look at the difference in slaughters between the Napoleonic Wars and World War I and all the wars since then. And it's sadly the same thing in a corporate situation, with Jeff Bezos being in his ivory high tower, possibly on lockdown, possibly not. His ratio of caring about the people that work for him that far away, it's not turning out too pretty. But for the majority of companies, which are mom and pop companies in America, at least they used to be before the lockdown, they're extended family. You hear it all the time in the reports. And they're taking away our liberty. They're taking away our freedoms. They're saying you're not going to get out of this anytime soon. They're saying you have to wear this, you have to wear that. They're saying you can't go here, you can't go there. We're going to have to change the last line of the Declaration of Independence, not Declaration of Independence, the last line of the Star-Spangled Banner. In the land of the free and the home of the brave. Because we don't have either one of those right now. What about the healthcare workers that are brave? What about the grocery store workers that are brave? Yes, and what about the rest of the brave that aren't allowed to come out? Because we're being told we can't or we will suffer the consequences. They've already arrested people, written tickets. There was the guy in Malibu who got the ticket for being in the ocean all by himself. There was the lady in New Jersey who got a ticket for driving around. I mean, it's just so much for the Star-Spangled Banner. So much for the United States of America. We've got to get back to controlling our own lives. Government is there to guide us, not dictate to us, not in this country. Something to think about. Thanks for watching. Come on back anytime you like. If you liked the video, that would be great. If you want to share it, that would be great too. And we will see you in the future.